Throughout the years, there's always been loss. My great-grandmother's house burned to the ground. My grandmother's house caught fire at some point. So for my mother, she was like, I've constantly seen these stories die with old people. What does it mean to be in a place and save those stories? She wanted to document those ideas, customs, and values.
This is where I was born. Oh, these are pictures from the church that we left, the old site?
Black and white photo.
Oh, the black and white one, okay. Was this the choir at the church? The kids' choir at the church. Tammy is right there.
My name is Tamara Butler, and I'm an assistant professor of English education and African American studies in the Department of English. I grew up on Johns Island, which is the largest of a string of islands along the North Carolina to the Georgia coast. My research is interested in Black women's knowledge. How can we think about Black women's stories as placemaking and how they are impacted by environmental issues, how they're impacted by gentrification? What are their memories? How do they help us understand a place? I see resilience in the women. There's like resiliency, but there's joy, sustaining, thriving, even in the midst of living in the Jim Crow South, moving forward, even in the face of poverty. Their stories are rooted in land. When the land starts to disappear, then where do the stories go? You see that's where the Progressive Club is. It's where Esau Jenkins and Septima Clark help people learn how to read and write to pass the test to register to vote. In all the years that I've been here, that was never taught in the school, but my family and people in the community would tell you about it. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing the book, because I'm like, what other histories on this island that nobody ever covered? Ideas of resilience, so people who...
This is Phoebe Taylor. She was the root doctor on Johns Island, they call her. This is my grandmother. That's a 5-generation picture there.
What does it mean to thrive in a place that's changing? Living on the Sea Islands and watching the demographic of the island change. My mother knew that where we lived, for example, doesn't look the same now that it did when she was growing up in the 40s. My mother took lots of photographs when I was younger, interviewed people.
I guess I didn't know what I was doing. I don't know why I was doing it, but I started trying to recapture my family's history before they died.
It wasn't until I got the job at Michigan State that I was like, Mom, this is the thing I want to do. And so she was like, okay, let's do it.
My goal always to my children is to follow your dreams. You know, put the Lord first and say, okay, Lord, where you want me to go? And this is just her dream, that she wanted to capture the history of where she came from.
Y'all have a good one.
We've lost so much of the history of the island, but people are now coming back together and trying to put it back together.
This is a side of the island I don't think you'll find in history books, you won't find it in the archives. They're Black families who've lived here and who have made the island what it is. In my coursework, the students get a chance to listen to the stories and they're like, oh, that sounds like my grandmother. That sounds like my aunt. They help me think through some of the theories that guide the work. We've been thinking about what is Black women's knowledge? What are Black women teaching us that can be taken up in classrooms, you know, K through university? Oftentimes, colleges are seen as a way out. And so we see so many students who are encouraged to not go back home. And then next thing you know, parents are being evicted, grandma's house gets sold, all because we've never been taught about what the value of those things are. That's what drives me, is knowing that each day I'm here to try to give like as much information as I can to students that you can hopefully take back to your community so that you never leave them behind. Because I don't leave mine behind. Been here for a while.
Yeah.
Been here as long as me.
Yeah.